If I'm too much, go find less. If I'm too much, find too much, find. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
To another episode of Too Much Find Less, where the podcast, Deanna Gialetti and myself, Sarah Hester Ross, talk about all things too much and how it's okay. It's just okay to be too much. And we accept it and we want to talk about it all day long.
We actually prefer it that way.
I do.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to intro that. I didn't plan it, but this is one of the things I want to talk about today because I saw this video and it's old. So I don't want to throw shade on this girl too much because maybe she's already been taken to the cleaners a couple times. But I'm just seeing it and oh my God, it just irked me in a way that it does a lot because I get irked very easily. But I just want to play this for you. So I'm not going to say her name, but this is what she had to say. So
You know that saying, and it's like, if I'm too much, then go find less? It's literally the dumbest fucking saying ever because, the reason this person thinks you're too much is because they want less. So, saying, go find less, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, thank you, I will.
That's the point, babe.
That's literally the point. I'm confused at her confusion.
First of all, I love her laugh. I love her laugh so much. She's
Also
like, I love it. I want to actually record just her laughing part, but she's hating not necessarily on our phrase because I didn't coin this.
Yeah.
I didn't do this. I saw it probably on a meme and then I sang to it and then it just kind of became my personality.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand why she thinks it's stupid because she's so close to the point. It's like if she just scooch it over 2 millimeters,
just a
she'd
little over,
hit
she would
it.
get it.
Hit it right there. What? That's the point.
Yeah, that's literally the point. And it's not for the people who find people too much. It's for those of us who are too much. Us owning that and being like, oh, if you can't handle this, go find something else. We're not changing for anyone. We are unapologetically ourselves for us and to embrace this and us and love every part of ourselves. And if you can't handle it, stay out of the kitchen. That's the phrase. She's like, yeah, then I will find less.
This
Right.
video kind of makes me think that she's been with someone who she felt was too much and they said, then go find less. And she's like, huh, okay.
Okay, right.
It's not a game, babe. It's not there. We're not saying this to test your love,
Right.
And to test you. No, we're basically giving you an out.
Right. It's more like embrace who you are. If you can't handle it, this is your cue to leave. I'm not
Right.
changing who I am to fit anyone else's box or comfort level. That's the point. She missed the point.
But she's so close to
She's
it.
real close. She's almost right there.
Because I mean, I know you said that it's really for the people who are saying this too much, but I would even go for a step further. It's also for the people who need less in their lives. That obviously we're not a good fit. Obviously, the friendship that I'm making you uncomfortable. So go find a more comfortable friendship, a relationship, an atmosphere where you are not worried about me. You know what I mean?
right.
That you're not worried about another person.
Right.
So I think it's an overall statement, positivity for everybody involved.
Okay, yeah.
It's not necessarily
Find your cup of tea.
Granted,
Find your-
I've never been around anybody that I felt too much just because I'm one of those people who likes to match energies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean even in the lower sense. Like if I'm around a chill group, I'll match the chill. Like I don't have to be the lead in every
You're reading the room.
Yeah.
You're vibing.
I really do.
Go to
But
the
if
vibe
I'm with
check.
someone who's like over the top, like I'm riding with you, babe.
Yeah.
I'm riding that wave. And, that's just me personally. So I was, babe, you're so close.
You're
so
so
close to it. And
you are so close. It's kind of like the people who say things are cringy. I disagree with the whole cringy epidemic.
Okay.
You know how everything was like, this is too cringy. Da, 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 da. I thought that was just like such a cop out for people who were too afraid to do things outside the box. I thought if you were calling something cringy,
Deanna, preach,
just
babe.
a cute
Preach.
little hot take, because when I was first starting TikTok, there were people close to me who were calling me cringy. And I literally was like, do you even know what cringy means? Like, do you mean successful? Do you mean bound for greatness? Do you mean things that you could never even dream of?
Do you mean me creating my own box?
Do you know what I'm
and
saying?
that no one's ever done before?
Right.
And I'm making...
Right. Things that are a little too loud, things that are a little too creative, like that is going to be seen as quote unquote this cringy to other people. And I didn't like, because it started to become like, then people were like, it's like Cheugy or Cringe. They were making names for things that they didn't understand. And I guess that's what I kind of love about our message of too much, fine less. Like, be Cheugy, be the most Cheugy, be the most cringy, create that box from the inside and let it like see out all ends of that possibility and what is that, and explore that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't love the people who are trying to make you smaller. Like, I would rather they go find less so you can explore whatever that is for you.
I've always
and shine.
Found the term cringy, and yes, I think Cheugy is actually a really cute word. It reminds me of like a guinea pig.
Come on, little Cheugy.
Like I would name a guinea pig Cheugy. How adorable is
It's
that?
actually really cute.
It's so adorable.
Did anybody feed Cheugy?
And it's like, anybody Cheugy? Oh, where's Cheugy?
Cheugy
Like,
bit me.
yeah, I love it. I actually like the word. But cringe, I feel like I've been cringe my entire life. Like, in the sense of the definition of cringe, of like not being the common denominator. I've always done things differently. I've always reacted differently. And so I think the idea of cringe is not new. Babes.
It's not.
You didn't create anything new. You're just bullies. You're just bullying. Yeah. And the thing is that you can not be into something.
Right.
Like, someone's doing something. I cringe when people are making fun of things and they are like going over the top. Like, I cringe with bullies.
Yeah, because that's cringeworthy to me.
But see, I don't think anybody creating anything.
Well, that's what, like, the TikTok.
I hate it.
The people who called me cringy for starting my TikTok, they never said cringy again once my platform blew
people
up.
Liked it.
Now
and
they
like
can't wait to be in my videos. I said cringy who, bitch? Do you know
That's
what
the
I mean?
definition of art.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the definition of anything new and creative and original. Right. Original is like, a lot of people will never understand creating something from scratch. Mm-hmm. And it is hard. It is terrifying. It's scary. But
vulnerable.
Oh, God. It's so vulnerable because you're putting it out there for people to say, ooh, cringy, or like, not good enough. Mm-hmm. Or so the cringe thing doesn't really affect me too much because I think I've always been cringy.
Yeah, at this point, I embrace the cringe. Like, I get it. I just think people throw that out there on anything that is not familiar to them. They're like, oh, I can't do that, and I don't know what that is. It's got to be cringy. Like, that's probably embarrassing. Until they see that person is successful in whatever it was, and then it's no longer cringy. So that's why I never liked it, because I was like, don't stifle anyone's creativity because you don't know. Like, why just go straight to that must be embarrassing because I'm unfamiliar with it, instead of like feeding and nourishing that and seeing what it could be.
Now, there are embarrassing things.
Absolutely.
There are things that are like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed for them. Like, this is so, it's usually like opinions of like people who are like it's how I started my TikTok trend with like, stop giving men microphones. Like the idea of these podcasts of men being like, let's talk about women and like I cringe at those. I cringe. I'm like, babe, that's so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed for you. Like, how do you have the audacity? How do you have
Right.
How?
Like, where are you finding that?
Where are
Like,
you
please,
finding
please,
it?
please,
Because
please.
I'd
Yeah,
like to
agree.
buy a bottle. I'd like to buy a bottle. So I know that there are things, there are levels of, we're not just talking about embarrassing things in general, but we're talking about people who are wanting to have fun and
Yes.
creating new things and being who they are.
Yes.
And they haven't done it on a platform where millions or thousands of people are seeing them for the first time.
Which leads me directly into what we were going to talk about today about these. I hadn't heard about this, but Sarah told me before we started the episode she wanted to talk about these faux influencers. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, this is the perfect like segue into that of like people who are trying to be influencers. There are some people who I guess are making fun of them and calling them
It was a
faux
podcaster.
influencers.
I don't know her name. She's
Okay.
not important. But she was talking about, and she coined the term faux influencers. And so the definition is basically people who have very low number count and but they're still doing like the get ready with me's and they're only getting like 2 or 3 likes per post and stuff like that. And it's just like, she mentions the number 2,000. And I feel like this is part of our problem of us being chronically online. 2,000 people is a lot.
Is a lot of people.
Is a lot of people. You think of 2,000 people coming into one room, seeing a person talk or seeing like that's a lot of people.
You can't even fathom it, actually. You can't even like understand what 2,000 people look like that are watching someone get ready in the morning.
And
like,
so
you know
to
what I mean? If
scoff
you're doing
at
your makeup,
that-
you're doing concealer with 2,000 people in a room with you. Please, there's nothing to scoff at. There is nothing to make fun of there. That literally is so infuriating to me because what is the point? What is the point of making fun of someone for trying, and then when they become the next Alex Earl, they're immediately like, I never said that. You know what I mean? They'd be embarrassed that they even had the audacity to say that.
Yeah.
So you have to let people start. You have to let people try. You have to encourage it.
That just screams privilege. It screams like whoever she was, again, she is a popular podcast person. And I don't know a lot about her, but I know that she is a woman of means, and she probably has had help a lot of her life. But like that, it just screams privilege to like look at somebody who is trying to do something new and is starting at the bottom with no help, and they're working their way up. That's kind of how a lot of people do it, babe.
Yeah.
Like they start at nothing and they work and even if it's not quote unquote successful to the extent where she is or where you are, doing something that makes you happy is always successful.
And on top of
Numbers be damned.
that, yeah. And on top of that, what does that do for this girl?
I don't know.
What does that do for her? Being like, anyone who's trying to be like me is literally like a faux influencer. What does that do for you? Does that help you? That doesn't make me want to watch your videos. That doesn't, like, what? Demeaning someone else who is trying to do exactly what you do and probably supports and watches you is like, I don't understand. I don't understand what she benefits from it at all.
I don't need. Again, we're going back to the idea of saying someone is doing too much because their insecurity is this. I bet her whole life revolves around her numbers. Her whole self-worth revolves around the fact that she has viewership, that she's got the numbers, that she's got this, she's got that. And so when she sees somebody else trying to do it and not succeeding, quote unquote, like she is, she would be like,
Yes.
I would be devastated.
Yeah.
I would be so embarrassed. I would be like, that's you, babe. That's on you.
Yeah.
And it's sad, really.
It really is sad. And you're
It's
so
sad.
right, though. Like, I mean, I haven't seen the video of this girl, but if she was like commenting on them having 2,000 people following her, like that 2,000 the next day could be 200,000. It's TikTok.
Easy.
It's TikTok or Instagram. These algorithms are pushing people every day. There's no bad day to start. There's no bad day to put yourself out there. So it really bothers me when people try to like stifle people's creativity because you never know.
Yeah.
You never know that everyone deserves to try in whatever makes them happy and whatever passion's going to like fuel them, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I don't there's no other side of it. Like, I don't see her correct side. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she probably thinks. I don't see that side.
Well,
I don't.
it also kind of feels like she's her point is to stop people from trying. So
it could
take
just
the
be
competition
her.
out, take
That's
the
right.
like
That's
the
right.
idea, and
That is right.
in that business mindset, I can see where she's coming from because, again, she's an older woman who probably feels insecure about her age and being on a younger platform, and younger people are coming up and taking over and like doing great things, and the society has just made us so insecure about competition and about the younger people taking over, and that will become obsolete as we age and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's right, but it's how people feel, and it's because of the culture that we grow up in. I just saw a meme the other day that, and I love it, because someone is doing the same thing as you are or something similar does not mean that negates what you're doing.
Yes.
And it's like, competition starts at the bottom. Collaboration starts at the top. And I'm like,
I love it.
yes,
love it, I
meme.
love it.
Yes, meme getting at my soul.
I saw some meme that's along similar lines of this. That's like a YouTuber with 10 million subscribers is never going to make fun of you for making your first video. A TikToker with 10 million followers is not going to make fun of you for making your first video.
I guess that's why I say privilege to this woman, that she never started from the bottom.
Right.
Like, she doesn't understand that it takes
that's how
work,
it
and that
starts.
everybody did it.
That's how it starts.
Everybody did it that didn't have like, an already, producer family, or she
Whatever it
like
is.
jumped into
Whatever-
an
yeah.
already successful podcast, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really hated that video, and I hate the people who are trying for the first time to become influencers, or they want to do something on social media because they see it could push their art forward or something. They hear someone that they respect or that is doing it say shit like that.
Right. And that could potentially cause them to not share or
And
not
I'm
be as
saying,
vulnerable.
don't listen to them. Don't listen to
100%.
her. Listen to us. We say, do
100%.
it. Go for it. Do it. Don't think about it. Don't think about the numbers. If it makes you happy, if it's causing you to smile, if it's causing you joy, do it.
Follow your passions, put yourself out there, be vulnerable, share.
Yeah.
Because you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
And don't listen to the haters.
I mean, both of us did it.
That's
like in the
right.
sense of like, we didn't get online thinking we were going to be famous influencers or these huge numbers. Like that was our goal. We wanted that. I guess I hate to use manifest because I think it was used too much, but like we manifested it. We tried it. But
And put in the work for it. That's what it is.
I mean, we've been doing it for years. So do it. Just do it.
Do it. Start now. And if you're worried about anybody calling you cringy or anything, call in, text us. We will give you the hype up message of
Yeah, we
the
wanna talk
century,
about it.
okay? We want to talk about it.
Speaking of,
Let's go.
We have another voicemail. Thank you guys so much for calling in.
We
And
love
also, I heard that like speaking of numbers, if you are listening to our podcast on a regular, could you give us a little review? Could you give us a little starsy
Don't
love?
forget to give us 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars.
And if you
I
can
mean,
give us 10, that's great as well.
I think it only goes up to 5, but I
well,
like your energy.
Shoot for the moon. Land among the 10 stars.
Yeah, if you could give us a little review, chat down. Obviously those who are subscribed to us. But if you're just joining us today, let us know what you think about the podcast, because we're dying to hear from you.
Yes, we love
with
you very
anything.
much.
Speaking of, we've got a voicemail, I believe. Nikki's gonna play it for us. So I
I'm
don't have to
ready.
hold the phone anymore.
I'm ready.
We're growing.
Hi, girlies. My name is Rebecca, and I am too much Barbie, which is why I think I resonate so much with both of you and your podcast and your viewpoints. And my question for you today is, how do you deal with girlfriends that are telling you you're too much? I think that I've got quite a handle on like ex-boyfriends and men derogatory.
Go for you.
Telling me I'm
That's
too
hard.
much. But I'm not as familiar with the dynamic when it's a close friend or like a dynamic in a girl group where everybody's kind of a little more muted, and then you're like the one that sticks out. What is your advice for that? And hopefully you can, well, not hopefully you can relate, but hopefully you could relate and give us your advice. Love you. Say it back.
Love you.
Oh, Rebecca, I love you. Rebecca's been following me from the beginning. Rebecca is an OG follower of mine, and we went on a few trips together. And I know her voice, and that is Rebecca. I love you, Rebecca.
I think I met her at your birthday.
Yes. Rebecca was
lovely.
wearing a gorgeous green gown with the bows on the side.
Yes, that's exactly what I was
Rebecca.
thinking. Yep.
So, Rebecca, you are perfectly exactly who you are. Like, I love you. I love everything about you. And this is like such a good question because the easy answer to this is when people are talking about guys, it's always like, please, like they don't know what they're talking about. But your girlfriends is such a trickier topic. And the only thing I can think for my best advice is my personal favorite advice that I use for myself, which is never accept criticism from anyone you wouldn't ask advice from.
Ooh.
So, yeah, right?
Ooh.
Right?
Oh, that gave me chills.
Ooh, I like live by this because
Say that one more time for me.
Okay, never accept criticism from anyone you wouldn't ask advice from. Wow. That means your circle.
Wow.
And for me is my girlfriends, right? Like my girlfriends who I trust with my life. If I need advice, I'm going to go to my close-knit group of girlfriends. And if one of them in my trusted group pulled me aside and was like, "Hey Deanna, look, like you're being a little too much right now. Like you're being a little too much. You need to like take a second." From my trusted girls, I would think about that and process it because I know for a fact they want what's best for me. I feel the safest around them. They wouldn't just be saying I'm too much to dim my light. They would mean it. So that's like the best thing I can think. If they are the people in your life who are the closest to you, something may have happened, right? And then so you maybe it's like a reflection moment. But then you had mentioned like, what if everyone's reserved and you're the one person that's like sticking out? That I would question for you of like, did they say that you were too much?
That's what I was
Or
going
are
to
you
say
thinking
next.
it?
Is the idea that and I really want to like nail this part home because we're talking about, too much, find less, and like the phrase too much, we're trying to take it back. We're trying to be like, someone says you're too much, you say thank you. Okay? But the intention of words is something to take into consideration. Are they saying you're too much, or are they saying you're too much?
Right.
Same words, intention very differently.
Yep.
Like at Deanna's birthday party, I was standing in the middle of Times Square, and she's outfit changes and like all these things, hair, blah blah blah. Like, and I'm saying she is too much, and I meant that in the best way possible because I love that she is like that. I love that she's in too much. So I think that that's another question of asking: are your girlfriends saying this in a good way or in a negative way?
Right.
Because I think it can be both.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I
agree. If it's your close-knit group of friends pulling you aside and being like, okay, that was too far, or are they like, wow, like even though they're feeling reserved, like they love your energy, that they're like, oh my God, you're being too much, like this is great. Like, like what is that, and what is that to you?
I actually have, my person that would say something like that to me is my boyfriend. And I'm, we're getting into the idea of we want you to always be yourself and
Yes.
always, but I do think that there's a fine line between being who you are as a person and being a dick. And I'm speaking towards me in this sense because prime example. My boyfriend and I were out on the town this was like a couple months ago. But we were downtown Las Vegas and I was drinking. And when I drink, I get loud and I'm in everybody's business and blah, blah, blah. And yay, alcohol. But so there was a point in the night where these people were having like a family thing and I was getting too intrusive. And Andrew pulled me aside and was like, babe, it's too much. You're being rude to these people, blah, blah, blah. And because it was coming from him and someone that I trust, I was able to take a step back and be like, oh, okay, I need to tone it down.
Right.
It had nothing to do with him saying, Sarah, you're too much. He was like, hey, be aware. Look at your surroundings. Are you being like this because this is your true authentic self, or are you being rude? Are you being disrespectful? Are you causing harm and to other people? It's a line.
Trusting him, you know he has your back. He has your best interests at heart. Like that's something you can like, okay, I can take a second and be like, okay. And also him saying that in that situation doesn't mean you're too much all the time.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean, it just means in this one little isolated moment. So that's what I say, because Rebecca, I know you. You're not, you know what I mean? You're perfectly you. You're perfectly unapologetically yourself. You're amazing. In every situation that I have seen you in, I've never been like, oh my God, girl, sit down. So like, that's why, you know what I mean? Which is why I'm like the specific events that are happening to you, I say, think about the person who's saying it to you and how much you trust them if you believe it. And then if it's not somebody that you would ask advice from, and it is just like a quote unquote friend.
God, I love
who's
that.
saying that you're too much and your shine is just too bright, I would say think about that friendship.
Yeah.
I would say think about that friendship, and is it really a friendship? Because you don't want those people around you. If I learned anything in my 30 years of life, I would say you really want the people around you who support you and raise you up. You don't have time or space for people who see your shine as a bad thing and try to make you smaller. You don't have time for them. You don't have time for them. You don't have space for them. So yeah,
And it's better for them if they go find people who are more like them.
Right.
Who want a chiller environment. Go.
Right, exactly.
Be free.
Exactly. Go be free and
Be
go
free,
find
baby.
that. Right.
Fly.
Right.
Fly.
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 Fly away.
Fly. Bette Midler.
Bette Midler singing Fly.
Thanks, Rebecca, for the voicemail. We really like it when you guys call in and tell us your stories, tell us your questions, your experiences about being too much. And this has been a really great episode.
This has been a great episode.
This has been deep.
Yes.
I feel like I've learned.
Make sure, call us, text us with your thoughts, opinions, ideas, topics. We want to hear everything. We love it. We love when you're a part of our show.
Yes.
And we love you.
Say it back.